Yeah, and that's my presentation. Welcome back, Stefan Hoppe, the president of the OPC Foundation. I want to give you a short update on the overview, the process and the agreements, how we start collaborations, what is behind, what are some rules. It is just a very short introduction here. Remember that we gave already an introduction on these collaborations as the key for the digitalization. I truly believe that yes, we need somehow protocols to move data from A to B, putting it in a pipe on the one side and it comes out somewhere else. Might be a horizontal pipe, might be a vertical pipe from somewhere to somewhere. But one protocol, one pipe is not enough. It's not fulfilling the needs, what we have today in the industry, where we might have to combine multiple protocols because the data first go wireless, then into a cable. Sometimes we need deterministic transport, sometimes we need additional functionalities like functional safety, sometimes we have a logical one-to-one communication, sometimes it's a service-orientated communication where we need where we send our data and we need a confirmation and we are sending out a request and we get something back, right? Sending a recipe. Sometimes it's just where we push our data and it's a fire and forget. We just want to inform somebody. And if he's not getting or losing one message, don't care, the next message is coming anyway. So there are multiple different scenarios, and OPCUA is the beauty to allow standardizing information and then having an end-to-end communication over all different combined transport and communication pattern mechanisms. The standardization of the information itself is the key for the digital transformation because it allows to reuse information and be aware of the meaning of the data instead of having additional agreements and contracts. Remember the old Modbus dates where you had to agree with your partner, with your communication partner, what is the meaning of the data. Instead, we have a self-describing pool of information and data sets, and this is exactly what we say, it's the semantic of the information. It's one of the three pillars where the promise of industrial secured interoperability is built on. Diving a little bit deeper, as I mentioned before, the OPCUA technology is something like a collection of Lego bricks where all bricks have a specific dedicated job and aim to do. Sometimes it's discovery, finding other communication partners in the web, where we have the presentation tomorrow from Jim Lewis. Sometimes it's about security, what we had as presentations. It's the transport over different protocols. So it's a huge number of different Lego bricks. And honestly, you never can say for this specific functionality, for the PLC, I always need this fixed set of Lego bricks. It might be different if the PLC is running and controlling a robot and you need hard deterministic real-time, or if the PLC is just running as a non-deterministic loop in a cloud to just control from time to time the temperature of a building. So the number of Lego bricks you need for your application. Also, maybe a better example with an MES system. Is it just taking care on jobs to download into the PLC, or is it nearby the machine and near real time to answer questions and quality checks and make decisions on the next production step near real time at the machine? You also need different Lego bricks. Okay, so how do we establish interoperability? There's a minimum set of Lego bricks which are required everywhere. This guarantees interoperability, and you have the freedom to select additional Lego bricks to fulfill your solution for your application. In the world of Lego, if you go to a shop, you also find these pre-built packages. The ship, the boat, and a lot of more where we played around when we have been young. So the aim of this pre-packaged Lego bricks is that you get a super user experience where you never fail, because all Lego bricks which are required to build this scenario, this Lego scenario, are designed and guaranteed to be in the package. And this is exactly the aim of companion specifications, where industry experts came together and first of all they are describing and modeling, I'm a robot, I'm a pump, I'm a device for the industrial kitchen, a fryer, whatever, and not only describing the device and the functionality, but also making a list of what kind of Lego bricks need to be in this package. This is part of a companion specification. Okay, and both together, the core functionality allowing all this, but also the companion specification, the pre-packages guarantee that together with the tools checking all this functionality are guaranteeing the promise of industrial interoperability. The clear message here is also the OPC Foundation on its own can't do this. The partners can't do it on their own. We have to work together. Only together we can solve this for the industry. Good. Where do you find the list of over 60 plus working groups and results already? Please join the OPC Foundation web. You find it if you go on the About and you see the link here, and then you have a really nice category where you find a lot of these cooperations. You also find the contact partner and what is the status behind. So yes, you can send me an email and ask me, hey, who is behind the VDMA robotic group? Like we had a question here in the audience some times ago, but you can also just go there, find the partner on the web, see how many versions they already specified. Did they finalize version 1? Are they already working on version 2? You get a really detailed, great overview. But let's have a look a little bit on the first line. What I mentioned here, we have a legal framework, the MOCA, and I will talk a little bit about this, on the rules and how to start a new companion specification and a new collaboration with the OPC Foundation. You find all that information also exactly in that position in the web, and it is a good overview on the definition, what is a joint working group, because we are not doing a companion specification with a dedicated company only, or with 2 or 3 companies only. This is for us not a joint working group. A joint working group is always that we cooperate with another multiplier, with another association, and they are the roof of experts, industry experts for a specific domain. We will have multiple examples of that later on today, and you find them also here on the web. Second, there's a criteria where we want to check, for example, do we have already a group? For example, we have a group who started successfully and delivered already on robotic information models. If another group would come and join to start on these activities, we would link them to the existing group and ask them please to cooperate. Maybe the new group has additional ideas how to extend the version what has been done already. We want to avoid overlapping information modeling and always to start from scratch because it has not been done by me, right? Not designed by me is one of the sometimes the biggest blockers, and we want to try to bring people together, agree on something, because we believe then the acceptance of a standard is best in the world. There's also in this area on the web you find a good guidance how to create a new collaboration and contact the OPC Foundation. Obviously we are helping, no doubt about that, but there must be an idea and there must be an initiative group to think about this is exactly what we like to solve. This is the package of the Lego bricks we want to work on, and hey, OPC Foundation, can you help on this? We are all mostly technical orientated people, same as myself, and we want to solve immediately going down into the definition of the semantic and the modeling of something. This is the XYZ coordinates and global positioning. These are my laboratory analytic devices. This is my robot and so on. And sometimes we forget that there are three parts being required for standardization. It is not only the technical solution, which is hopefully then solving something which helps in the business. Otherwise, it does not make any sense. And it's just a little bit entertainment to do something because you can, but nobody is using it. It also has a legal impact. And so in the focus, in the center of all of this, this is where standardization is happening. And so I like to talk a little bit about this because I believe the OPC Foundation made great homework here. We designed with all our experience of 60 plus collaborations, we designed a framework which we signed with all of them because we want to guarantee that everybody can use the results, the companion specifications later, free of charge, public available. And so we have to agree on this and also protect our members and implementers. This is critically important. We are protecting implementers to use this technology. And so we are agreeing on joint working groups on a so-called MOCA. It's the Multi-Organization Collaboration Agreement. It is public available on the web, obviously. And then it is very short. It has three parts. There are two parts on the MOCA agreement itself and the signature page where all the collaboration partners, the other associations are signing. Then it's about 3, maybe 4 pages. It's the charter. What is this group working on? What are they solving? This is a technical part. This is where most of the engineers like to focus immediately on and start. And then we have a 2-page just to be sure what is the version of the OPC Foundation IPR policy. But it is, please remind that the OPC Foundation is not the only owner of the results. The partner associations can also republish the technical work, even with a different title page, to fulfill the needs of their organization and their members, sometimes even with a different number of the version, not a version, a different title, and republish that under their roof. But the content, the technical content, obviously is identical. So again, the MOCA is what we sign with other associations to create new content. But we have a second document, and this is the called BOCA, the Bilateral Organization Collaboration Agreement. This is not to create new content. This is to share existing content if we want to cooperate with other associations. We started this BOCA agreement when we wanted to much closer work together with the OPAF forum under the roof of the Open Group in North America. And it was a pleasure for me to meet Don Bartusiak, who initiated this and is super active in this group. And we thought, hey, yes, we are working on this, and unfortunately I can't share your details because this work is still under development. Remember, once specifications are released, they are public for everybody and free of charge, available for download. But while they are under development, they are just internal in that working groups available with the cooperation partners. So how to avoid that groups start maybe on double standardizations? this would be completely nonsense. We want to avoid any double standardization. It just results in conflicts in the industry later. This is what we wanted to avoid. And so I'm glad we had this so-called BOCA agreement, where we are able to share internal documents with others, with another association, without seeing this as a contribution to their IPR policy. And this is what we signed already with other partners, for example, not only with the OPAF group, but also with the Z4E, because we want to share early information. What is the status of our work with deterministic data transfer in the field level communication group to their group, because they are working and focusing on 5G. Good. If you want to get information on a much deeper focused legal information level, which I unfortunately can't deliver, then please join our presentation from the OPC Foundation Legal Counsel. It's Brad Biddle, and he made an easy to understand, for engineers, easy to understand presentation, and you find this presentation on the OPC Foundation YouTube channel. Before we start, I like to give a short introduction that creating a huge number of companion specifications is not enough, because we realize that immediately different groups are thinking on identical topics. Multiple machines and assets need an energy management interface, OEE data. What is machine identification? So you have multiple topics where you believe this could also be useful for other organizations, other working groups, joint working groups to work with. And this is exactly why we have a so-called harmonization group under the roof of the OPC Foundation, where every leader, every chairperson from each working group, from each joint working group, is automatically a member in this harmonization group. This is led by Dr. Wolfgang Manke, who is doing the presentations later today. And he is exactly checking and harmonizing, can we reuse something? Do we have already overlapping stuff? Can we resolve it? This is quite interesting and quite challenging. It's the master class, the champions class of semantic standardization for the best of all of us, because if something is reused in multiple areas, you have the USB connector experience. You connect to a machine and you find immediately same basic function blocks again to communicate with, to find them easy to use. The VDMA has also an internal harmonization joint working group. This is the OPCUA for machinery, where we also get a presentation today. The VDMA have so many joint working groups together with the OPC Foundation that a pre-harmonization definitely makes sense. But obviously the OPC Foundation and VDMA guarantee that the two harmonization groups are working extremely close, aligned together. And the reason behind is that also this group has involvement with Dr. Wolfgang Manke, so he is in both organizations involved in these harmonization groups. Okay, before I start again, this is the landing page if you want to learn more about these joint working groups where we cooperate with other partners. Just to make one more comment, and I hope I'm not confusing all of you now. Obviously, we also have internal OPC Foundation working groups. So if a couple of OPC Foundation companies come together and say, we want to standardize on a specific field, a specific area, then we can do this also if a significant number of companies come together with a goal to specify and standardize on something. This is what we call a working group, but it's not a joint working group. Okay, with all this information, I think I covered all of the topics I promised. If not, please send feedback or ask questions. That was my presentation, and we are looking now to the next presentation. Thank you first of all.